What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and here is my review for the Season 1 finale of the AMC series, Fear the Walking Dead. Let's get this party started. Okay, so spoiler alert, if you haven't been caught up with Fear the Walking Dead at all, there's actually going to be like numerous encores of it on AMC tonight. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can just watch it on AMC later tonight because they're going to have numerous encores of it. So, the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead was episode 6, and it was titled The Good Man. So, a lot of crazy stuff happened in this episode. It was much more intense than any other Fear the Walking Dead episode. It was even more intense than the dog. It had more action and everything, and a lot more zombies, and that's what I love seeing. And the zombies were actually really creepy, too. So, a lot of crazy stuff was going on. So what stood out to me, and what I saw happened was Nick and this new character who was introduced in the last episode, Strand, that's what his name is. He's like this rich, high-class man. He helps Nick escape. He only helps Nick escape. They leave all the other survivors in the wire cells that they're in, because they have these wired fencing put up in the inside. And all these people are locked inside, and they're banging, saying, "Help us! Don't leave us in here!" And while I was watching that, I was thinking, God, that's messed up that they're leaving them all in there. And it was just Nick and Strand escaping, and I was thinking, if I was Nick, I would have knocked out Strand, stole the key, and unlocked all those gates and let all those people out. Because Strand, at first glance, he seemed pretty crooked. He seemed like a pretty crooked character at first. But I was thinking, I'd rather have a whole bunch of people on my side than one crooked person. That's what I was thinking. But eventually all those people got freed and rescued by Madison and Travis. Well, they weren't rescued by Madison and Travis, but they were unlocked and released from their cells by Madison and Travis, and they all ran by themselves. But they probably all got killed by the zombies anyway. I don't think any of them survived. Some of them probably did escape, though. But it turns out that back at the safe zone of the neighborhood, the military people abandoned the safe zone. So Alicia, Madison, Daniel, Ophelia, Travis, and Chris, they all leave the safe zone. But Travis, Daniel was keeping Andrew Adams captive. He was one of the military soldiers. Travis lets him go, and that turns out to be a mistake eventually. Not really a grave mistake, but it could have been a grave mistake. So, they make it to the command posts. They lure all the zombies to the military command post because they come there to rescue Nick and Griselda. They don't know that Griselda is dead, but eventually Daniel finds out. They make it to the command post. Zombies swarm the command post. They start eating up everyone. It's really intense and lots of action. And I love seeing all of it. I wanted to see more people get devoured because they were mostly showing just a bunch of zombies. But it was still cool to see all that. So then, they leave Alicia and Chris in the parking structure by the SUV. But then the military men, they break into the SUV. They pull out Chris and Alicia, and then this one sleazy military guy, he starts flirting with Alicia and starts making moves on her and everything, and Chris is fighting and trying to protect her, but then they beat him up really bad. They don't beat him up that bad, but they do beat him up. They steal the keys from Alicia, and then the military soldiers steal the SUV, and I got kind of mad at them for doing that, but I highly doubt that any of them survived. I think they might have died. But at least Alicia and Chris didn't die, and plus they still had the truck that they could escape with. So, eventually, Nick and Strand, they reunite with Lisa and Bethany and all the others, Madison, Travis, and Daniel. Daniel finds out that his wife is dead. He grieves over her for a little bit, but then their survival mode kicks in because they start getting attacked by numerous walkers. And Bethany actually stays behind for some reason, and I thought that was kind of sad that she stayed behind, because she could have lived and escaped with them, but she stayed behind and she ended up killing herself. They didn't show it, but she had the gun in her hand and she aimed it at her head, so I'm assuming she did kill herself. But I wasn't really surprised that she died. I wish she didn't, though. I wish she would have escaped with them, but she didn't want to for some reason. Eventually, the group, they regroup with Alicia and Chris. They go down to the parking structure and they find them. And right before they are about to escape, Andrew comes in and he's armed with a gun and he wants to get revenge on Daniel for torturing him. He aims the gun at Daniel, but then Ophelia is like, no, don't shoot him. So then he shoots Ophelia instead. Travis runs in and starts he beats Andrew to a bloody pulp. But Andrew does not die, but he is critically injured, and I'm assuming he did eventually die. I highly doubt he survived at all, because he was critically injured, and plus they left him behind in the command post, which was crawling with walkers, and that was so creepy, and it was really intense. And everyone was saying that Travis turned into Rick at that moment, which is definitely true. He definitely did at that moment. But then, they leave him behind. They all escape, and I was so worried about Ophelia because I thought she died from the gunshot. But she didn't die from the gunshot. They just shot her in the arm, and she survived. She was injured, but she did survive, and Leisha told them how to treat the injury and everything. They all go back to Strand's house, which is on a beach near the ocean. It's kind of like on a beach near the ocean. It's near the ocean, but it's not really on a beach, kinda. It kinda is on a beach, actually. But then, it has a shocking twist. We realize that Leisha was actually bitten on her side, and that shocked me, though. And because, like, by the time they made it there, it hasn't been that long. I mean, I think she probably would have survived, but she probably would have turned eventually, now that I think of it, because she didn't pass out, or she didn't seem to be running a fever, or she didn't seem to be sick at all. But she was bitten, and she was out on the pier, and I think she was going to shoot herself, but she couldn't do it, so she was asking Madison to shoot her instead, and Madison didn't want to shoot her at all, and it was just a really sad scene, because I didn't really want Leisha to die, but if I had to choose, I probably would have chose her to die instead of any of the other characters. I'm just glad that Alicia didn't die, and I'm glad that Nick didn't die either. Even though he's kind of an asshole, I still wanted him to live. And I'm really glad Ophelia didn't die, because I really didn't want Ophelia to die. The rest of the people I don't really care about at all. But those three, Ophelia, Alicia, Nick, and I didn't want Chris to die either. Those four, I don't want those four to die. The rest of them can all go to hell for all I care. But those four characters, I do not want them to die at all. Eventually, Travis comes outside. He finds out that his ex-wife has been bitten, and they give a tearful goodbye and everything, and then Travis actually ends up being the one to shoot her. And then it ends with him crying outside on the beach. And then Nick and Strand, they see the yacht that they have outside on the ocean, and they plan to escape Los Angeles on the yacht. And I don't think they're going to go far out into the ocean, because they need resources to survive. There's not many resources out in the ocean that they can survive off of. And what if their boat runs out of gas or electricity or something? That wouldn't be good. So I really think they're going to stay near the shoreline. They might sail up north, or they could sail down south, or they might just stay in Los Angeles for all I know. I'm not sure where they're going to go in season 2. But it was a really intense episode. I think they really did a good job with this series. I mean, the first episode was kind of boring, but they're trying to show character development at first, but there wasn't really enough action. You have to keep those balanced, but overall, they did a really good job, because I knew there were eventually going to be more zombies and everything, and they definitely had more zombies in this episode. It was like massive, gigantic zombie herd. And I loved seeing that. This was the most intense episode, and this was the best episode of Fear the Walking Dead so far. They did a really good job. I love all the actors. They did a very good job. But I will say this. I really wish that Stormy Ent would have had a bigger part in the series. But, yeah, she did a good job, too, as the zombie that they killed in the second episode. So, shout out to her again. So, yeah. That's basically it. So, please comment and share your thoughts. What stood out to you in the season of Fear the Walking Dead? What was your favorite moment of Fear the Walking Dead? Did you feel bad for Leisha dying? Did you feel bad for Bethany dying? Are you happy that Chris, Nick, Alicia, and Ophelia survived? Who do you want to survive? Which character do you not want to die in season 2 of of Fear the Walking Dead? I just don't. The only ones I'm worried about are Nick, Ophelia, Chris, and Alicia. I don't want those 4 to die. The rest of them, if they all die in the next season, then that's fine for me. As long as those 4 don't die. I really thought that Nick was going to die in this episode, but I'm really glad he didn't. So, yeah, that's it. So, yeah. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on Tumblr. And don't forget to subscribe to my main channel, too. So that's it. So, peace out, people.